Today, I would like to take you on a journey through one of the most curious and controversial episodes in the history of science, the theft of Albert Einstein's brain. This story is not just a tale of a posthumous intrigue, but it's also a narrative that delves into the human fascination with genius, the ethical considerations surrounding scientific inquiry, and the complex relationship between the public and the private lives of great individuals. Albert Einstein, arguably the most renowned physicist of the 20th century, passed away on April 18, 1955. He left behind a legacy of groundbreaking scientific discoveries that reshaped our understanding of the universe. Yet, it wasn't just his theories of relativity and his contributions to the field of quantum mechanics that piqued the world's interest. His persona with the unruly hair and the wise, kindly expression made him a global icon. He became a symbol of human intellect, and as such, people were captivated by the idea that his brain might hold the key to his genius. So, how did the theft of Einstein's brain unfold? And what did it entail? Dr. Thomas Stoltz Harvey, the pathologist who conducted Einstein's autopsy at Princeton Hospital, where Einstein had been admitted, was the central figure in this unusual story. Dr. Harvey was not your typical pathologist. He had a vision beyond the ordinary. While conducting Einstein's autopsy, he made a decision that would send shockwaves through the scientific community and raise significant ethical questions. Einstein's family, including his son, Hans Albert Einstein, had given permission for the autopsy to be performed, but they had no idea about Dr. Harvey's real intentions. Instead of returning Einstein's brain to his body, as is customary in autopsies, Dr. Harvey decided to preserve it for scientific research. In his mind, he believed he was acting in the name of science with the noble goal of unlocking the secrets of Einstein's unparalleled intellect. For the family, this was a shocking betrayal of trust. They had not consented to the removal of Einstein's brain, let alone its preservation for research. It is essential to remember that this was an era where the ethical standards surrounding post-mortem examinations were not as well defined as they are today. As a result, Dr. Harvey's actions set off a series of events that would spark a decades-long controversy. The first question that arises from this curious episode is, why would anyone want to study Einstein's brain in the first place? The answer lies in the quest to understand the biological basis of genius. Many hoped that Einstein's brain would reveal anatomical clues that could explain his extraordinary intellectual capabilities. This desire to find a physical explanation for genius is not new. Throughout history, people have been fascinated by the idea of genius as something more than just mental prowess, but as a tangible and quantifiable attribute of the brain. To address this question, we must explore the subsequent history of Einstein's brain after it was preserved by Dr. Harvey. The brain was carefully sectioned into numerous pieces for research purposes, and various studies were conducted over the years. Researchers hoped to find differences in certain regions of Einstein's brain that might explain his remarkable cognitive abilities. One of the first studies conducted on Einstein's brain was published in 1985 by Dr. Marion Diamond and her colleagues. They reported that Einstein's brain had a higher number of glial cells compared to the average brain. Glial cells, which support and nourish neurons, were thought to play a role in brain function. However, this finding, while intriguing, did not provide a clear answer to the question of what made Einstein's brain unique. The study was criticized for not having a sufficient sample size of other brains for comparison. In the years that followed, several other studies attempted to unravel the mystery of Einstein's brain. Some claimed to have found differences in the parietal lobes, a region of the brain associated with mathematical and spatial reasoning. However, these findings remained inconclusive and controversial, with many neuroscientists questioning the validity of the results. The small sample size of Einstein's brain and the lack of appropriate controls made it challenging to draw definitive conclusions. This brings us to a critical point of the story. The scientific value of these studies, were they merely a product of curiosity, or did they have genuine scientific merit? The controversy surrounding Einstein's brain research revolves around this very question. Critics argue that the studies were inconclusive, and that the scientific community could have learned more from Einstein's preserved brain by adopting a more rigorous and comprehensive research approach. On the other hand, proponents suggest that these studies opened up new avenues of inquiry, and even if they did not provide definitive answers, they contributed to our understanding of brain anatomy and function. Moreover, the entire episode raises ethical concerns about the use of human remains in scientific research. In the case of Einstein's brain, the removal was done without the explicit consent of the family, which raised questions about the rights of individuals, even in death. It highlights the need for proper informed consent and ethical guidelines in post-mortem research.
It would be a heavy blow to all those who believe in human solidarity and would encourage those who believe only in force and oppression and who act accordingly.
In the decades that followed, Einstein's brain went through several adventures. It was stored in a jar of formaldehyde, and later it was cut into thousands of small sections. A few pieces were sent to researchers around the world. As time passed, the controversy surrounding Einstein's brain only grew. It wasn't just the scientific curiosity, but the morbid fascination that captivated the public's imagination. The brain became a symbol of the quest for genius, and it was often portrayed as a scientific relic. The story of Einstein's brain also brings to the fore the notion of the public's right to know. The fact that Dr. Harvey did not inform the Einstein family about his plans was a violation of trust, and it set the stage for a prolonged legal battle. The family eventually won the right to have Einstein's brain returned to them, and it was buried alongside his body in 1999. Einstein's own views on the subject of his brain being preserved for scientific study remain largely unknown. He had donated his body for medical research, but he likely did not anticipate that his brain would become a source of public fascination and controversy. The whole episode raises questions about the posthumous rights and wishes of individuals, even those of great renown. In conclusion, the theft of Albert Einstein's brain is a fascinating and ethically complex episode in the history of science. Dr. Thomas Stoltz Harvey's decision to preserve and study Einstein's brain without the family's consent has sparked debate and controversy for decades. It touches on issues of scientific curiosity, the quest to understand the biological basis of genius, and the ethical considerations surrounding the use of human remains in research. The story of Einstein's brain serves as a reminder that, as we explore the frontiers of science and push the boundaries of knowledge, we must also be mindful of the ethical and moral implications of our actions. In the case of Einstein's brain, the pursuit of understanding came at the cost of trust and privacy, leaving us with a profound and enduring ethical conundrum. As we reflect on this unusual chapter in the history of science, we should consider the importance of informed consent, the rights of individuals, and the responsible conduct of research. While the theft of Einstein's brain may forever remain a curiosity and a cautionary tale, it also reminds us that, in our quest for knowledge, we must tread carefully and ethically. Einstein's brain serves as a symbol of the enduring tension between science, ethics, and the public's fascination with genius. Thank you for listening to me. See you in the next video. Goodbye.